the why of everything you do in life determines where you're gonna go. The why keeps you driven. So with everything I do in life, I tend to ask myself, why am I in this situation? Yes, why am I doing this? Why do I want to be in a relationship with this girl? It's because she has a motherly love. She's this, she's that. Why am I friends with you? So the why of everything you do determines how you're going to do it.
And how you're going to navigate it.
Yes. And also, when you want to quit something, ask yourself why. Yeah, so why is very important. Yeah, because with why, you have a when, you have a how, and all the other stuff that come with the why.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Uphill Podcast. For those who are joining us the very first time, I'm your host, Siluncedo, and we are so excited to be back on your screens, you guys. It's been quite a long time. It's been a couple of months, actually, since we last dropped an episode. I'm so happy to be back on your screens again. We are happy to be back on your screens as a team. Now, today, we are actually going to talk about something very profound, okay? It's one of those topics or discussions where you're actually going to have to sit back and actually do some self-introspection. And I've been thinking to myself when I was, coming up with this topic that there's a lot of things happening in the world right now, and we find ourselves wanting to pursue big dreams. We all have big dreams, really, really big dreams. But some of us don't really know how to navigate towards those dreams, and I'm one of them. And I feel like with this particular episode, we will just be talking about how to actually navigate towards those big dreams and how to actually step back into your purpose if you find yourself stepping out for whatever reason. Stepping out of your dreams, stepping out of your purpose, stepping out of who you might possibly want to become. So that's the run for today. That is the expectation for today, and I can't wait to actually introduce, or the guest introduce himself, who will be taking us through this conversation, someone who is first front row seat has dealt with life, and but in such a way that he makes it look so easy, I believe. So I'll not just waste any time. I'll just let the guy introduce himself, because here's the thing, a lot of people know him. That's what I'm gonna say, and a lot of people know different versions of him. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people know a lot of different versions of him, whether it's bad, whether it's good. So I'll just give him that opportunity to actually introduce himself and set your own platform.
It feels like I'm in an interview.
We actually that's the thing for me. It gets easier along the way. But guys, let me introduce to you, Bahle Ngqula. Man, he's in the building.
You guys should have that sound.
Yeah, so
Flip,
yeah, man.
Where do you start with introducing yourself? Bahle.
Yeah.
Bahle Ngqula. Stuko ngujola. Phangomqhendebe. But every time when I talk about this Duko or about myself, I always put it three ways. So raised by a single mom, Majola, my dad Maya, and my stepdad Ngutangan. So I always, whenever I have a conversation with someone about his Xhosa or his Xhosa, I always want to talk about those three clan names, because xa ndikojola ndiyalunga ndenza yonke into, xa ndikothangane ndiyalunga ndenza, xa ndikomaya ndiyalunga. So I think also personally wise, with my personality, I can swap and
maneuver.
Change it. Yeah. So that's me. I'm a very simple guy, very outspoken guy. I have a very intimidating personality. When I get in the room, I think it's because of
Commander app.
Yeah, the it's because of the beard, it's because of the height. Obviously, everyone has to look up to him there. But in essence, that's me, man. I'm a very simple guy. I move where everyone moves.
Yeah.
As long as you know the story, you know where you're taking us, and then that's me.
I actually, when you came in, explaining, I was so excited, and I know you're also excited because I wanted to get into the conversation, and I kept on trying to keep myself, not to actually expand on the things that I want to talk about. And the very first thing that I told you when you walked in, I mean, guys, the last time I spoke to you, or the last time we met, it was back in 2016.
16, 17.
I think I was in grade 10, 2017, somewhere there. And I was still I was studying my amateur artistry.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Man.
That was dope though.
No, but when you think back to those kind of moments, like you can't help but just shy away and be like, what the hell, man?
What are you thinking?
It's just so immature of me. But that was the start of the relationship that, I got to meet you in person. And that was the time where Siluncedo was actually at its prime, And the first thing that I told you is that you're so grown. Like, I feel like, and I did this, and I didn't mean like physically when we say like with but I didn't mean it like in that sense. No, I felt like I got a sense of growth. I got a sense of growth. I'm not gonna lie. And I was watching the like leading to the question I'm gonna ask you right now, but I just have to give a background. When I was doing the research on you, you did an interview with Event with Maps, and it was the Jane was asking you like introduce yourself and who would you say you are, and you said something very important. You said I'm not at the age where I can like introduce myself, like I haven't grown to that point. And looking now, bro, I think you
I've grown.
Yeah, man.
Flip.
I think you've grown. So I think leading to my first question, how do you actually see yourself right now in comparison to when you were still coming up, when you're still trying to make a name for yourself? What is the difference, would you say, back then and now?
I think, and this is subjective, and to some they would narrate it in a different way, but ukwaluka okanye uba indoda plays a huge role in someone's life.
Yeah.
I think you become more calm. You become more relaxed because you get to understand that anything you say with your mouth, iba lipolisa lakho ngesixhosa, into ithetha ngomlomo wakho lipolisa lakho, and you get to understand that wherever you are, uyindoda, there's no, I'm going to put lento yobudoda aside and be me. And I think with that, I had to embrace it, and embracing it, ubudoda, okanye uba yindoda, I got to understand that there are some things I can't do.
Or you ever felt compelled to act out when you ventured into manhood?
Did I?
Like, do you ever felt compelled to act out or do things just to please?
I think it's a story on its own. And for me, it took time. I think the Lugeni Mdala, as they would say in inverted commas, and the process itself was very, not to Kwaluka, but the journey going into Kwaluka was very, it's something that I don't wish to revisit. Hey man, COVID hit, I had to delay everything financial wise and all of that. I found myself in that situation. I found myself not. And the whole process, the people that were involved, the people I've met there, they showed me a different side. I got to understand that my outspoken personality can be taken this way. I became a leader, not because of I was the smartest. I always tell people, I'm not the smartest kid in the room, but I know damn well if I speak, you're going to listen to me, not because of what I'm speaking is very badly, but because I'm gonna stay in the with a straight face, and you're gonna listen to what I'm saying, and you're gonna go home and be like, I'm chita best part God, but I know damn well what I'm saying is listenable, and that's how I've always, even as a school, I was that kid who was a pakamis sandla, even before processing the whole answer, pakamis, because that's me, that's my personality. I want to outshine everyone else. So I think with that, it came with a bit of growth. It came with a bit of confidence because and they would listen to me because they would listen to me because they know it. So you get to understand now, hey, I can't be this thin-figured guy. That's where the weight came in. That's where the confidence came in, walking into a room and understanding that no one can tell me otherwise because and I represent my family. I'm a firstborn, a kaya, in inverted commas, so I had to understand that in whatever I'm doing, I'm representing my sisters, my brothers, my stepdad, my dad, my mom. So hence the, not ego, but the ego.
Yeah,
hence,
I get you.
Hence, even I have to ensure that I can't be wearing some things. I'm representing a family. I'm representing a surname. Bahle Ngqula, and I have to carry the legacy. So I think now you get to run around with those topics in your mind, then having about ngakhathali and all of those things. So I think it's that, man.
I'm actually eager to know the story of how you actually began such a monumental movement that is big as Siluncedo. I don't know if is it still operating?
I think let's start with the first question.
Yeah.
I think in life we tend to respond to trauma in different ways. And most of the time, I always say, abantu they project their trauma. If you ukhule uthi ngaphakathi ndimbi, you would more or less try to project that onto other people, because it's something that you are comfortable in. I think for me, growing up without a dad, the birth of the organization was just a trauma response.
Was it?
Well, it was. If you think about it, all I did was visit children's homes. Well, the very same people who do not have parents. And what was the best way for me to project my personal feelings and how I wanted to be raised by, in inverted commas, by my parents? I projected it on those people, which is a good and bad thing. And I used my influence from high school, Facebook and all those things, and I just gathered more people that more or less shared the same vision as me. Out of 10 people, 8 of them don't have dads, or 8 of them don't have moms. And I mean, only the 2 engazu join a group, but that 8, that's a lot. So that's where the organization started. I think we visited 5 or 6 children's homes, I'm not sure. Used to save my lunch, the first 2 visits, until that became a strain, and people started to also donate. Hey man, that was the best time of my life. Until firstly I outgrew it. There comes a time where you can only give so much, and then you have to understand that now you need that help. Secondly, I think people took advantage of that. The organization itself, they didn't see the objectives of it, which I do blame myself for it, because I mean, I'm not really the most streetest person ever. So you might find that people are not really in it for that. They're just there to spend time. They're just there to meet up with people. Also, I think COVID hit, because during that time, we were planning a hike, and it was gonna be the biggest hike. I already had brands, already had all of those things, and COVID hit. And then now, I think it's a matter of where do I start.
Okay.
Where do I start? But I do give, man. I do give a lot. I think I'm one person that gives. I would send people money for Sebenzini, that. But it's not as big as it was before. And now I'm also taking care of myself. I don't think I'm in a space where I can give so much of myself.
Sorry to cut you off, Ne. I just don't want to lose the train of thought that I have right now. You mentioned a trauma. You've mentioned you outgrown your Siluncedo. I just want to start on the trauma part first. Do you think that having that establishment at that age was kind of filling a void?
It was. It definitely was. Because again, as I said, it was a trauma response. And for me being there, it was just me being a father to, firstly, these kids that are in these children's homes. And secondly, Nani, because you guys did nothing without telling me. You literally did nothing without telling me. That's where I saw that, you have an influence. There was a time, Baphumele Children's Home, which is in Site B, we had close to 300 girls. I think it was for Women's Day. 300 girls. 300 heads that were dependent on my left or right. If I said left, they had to go left. That's a dad.
So you were literally just like watching over and just being the
commander-in-chief. Mind you, I'm not even 21. I'm still in grade 12, or I'm 18 or 19, I'm not sure. And I have to overseas in this. I have to go on interviews at radio and talk about this organization started by an 18-year-old. And still, I don't know anything about organizations. But me being me, I'm going to talk about this thing. I'm going to say this bullshit and do something. Sorry for swearing.
But how can you outgrow something so big, man? Like what is it that you had that you had to go through that initially made you decide, Bernard, I have to outgrow something that was basically life to many young children? I mean, you were giving life to abantwana.
I couldn't give anymore.
You were giving hope to a lot of people. You were such an inspiration. I don't understand how that couldn't feed and make you whole and in some way or the other.
Again, you could only give to. Yeah, you can only give so much. And even now, I still have that issue of about to know me as a giver, and once you give so much, you tend to not know how to ask, and I hit that wall. But even now, and whenever I ask someone, I have to ask someone who I've first given so that they can understand. I can, for example, if I ask you to give me this phone, I'll have to give you a phone first, and then the copy yeah, it's bad. It's a bad habit. It's ekomnandi. Hence, I've been focusing on creating a safe haven. I always tell people, create a safe haven to fall on.
So you basically just took a decision to actually be by yourself and take care of yourself.
I went on a self-discovery journey where I had to develop myself. I had to work on me and who I am and what I stand for. Because when you give a call, you tend to not know your grounds. You tend to you feel sad. Whereas why? You can't.
Can I ask a question? Do you think it was only just coming from you, that source of I have to outgrow it? Or do you think that the people around you that you initially thought that had your back and was a support system, do you think their decisions or the negative decisions implicated your decision to actually stop pursuing something so powerful?
No, I don't think there's anyone here that's ever influenced me with regards to that part of my life, the organization, even though I had co-founders, people that I elected based on their strengths and weaknesses. They know now that they had to, in whatever decision they're taking or running through me. And they still say today, some of them still DM me, Bahle, let's do this. And I'm like, hey, guys, if only you knew. I don't know where to start. And it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's I've set the bar so high that in whatever I'll do next, oh damn, it's back. Oh damn, usazama. It has to be, oh damn, he's back. And I'm not even trying to impress you, but it's a standard that I've set. It's what I've set in your mind. It's a relationship, man.
Do you have any strategies that you use in mind to actually counteract any? Because when you want to start a business in general, just not a Siluncedo, because you also were in partnership. I don't even know if you were in partnership, but you're also involved with Estratweni. You have businesses running currently right now. So there's something about you and just being part of greatness. There's just, I think that's, and Abantu, a lot of people would take certain things away from Abantu, but if you have it, you have it.
Yeah.
Do you get me? If you have a gift of giving, you have it. Do you have any strategies when currently, even back then, when Siluncedo was still in its prime, the strategies that you use to actually cope and go back to yourself and just remind yourself why you initially started something like this, or even Ngoku? Do you even have those moments or strategies?
I think with everything that I do in my life, be it business, be it personal, be it lifestyle, be it whatever, I do things that fit my character and fit who I am. I don't like being in a situation where I just go as a poem. For example, now, if ungene umuntu abazositubula andizokwazi andiyazi ba iphi umnyango ophumayo, and I don't like that. I don't like being in a situation or in anything where I'm not in control. I'm a control freak. I love knowing if guys is here at this place, let's have enough money, let's do this. That's me. And business wise, I don't think I'm really good at running a business. I always tell people, I don't run a business. I run a lifestyle. I don't run a business. I run a lifestyle. I know what people want. I know how to talk with people. I know how to do people management is what I know. For example, you're gonna want a phone. I don't care how much the phone is or whatever. I'm gonna reach your need. Hi Chomi, this phone takes good pictures. APC, vara. You see, I'm speaking to your needs, or I'm speaking to the feeling of someone and not really talking about the part. I don't know how to run a business. I always tell people. Even when I was working for Galaxy Boy, I didn't know
working. Wait, what do you mean?
Oh man,
you were working.
Yeah.
How?
What do you mean?
I mean, no, guys, I live in my own world.
You didn't do research about me, hey?
What do you mean you're working with Galaxy Boy, bruh?
I used to work at Galaxy Boy as a sales assistant.
Oh.
For like a year and a half. Yeah. For like a year, yeah.
Ne? And how was the experience?
Yo, man, it is... Damn. That's where I think I discovered myself and my passion in life and understanding that I'm just a goat when it comes to people.
Ne?
Yeah, man, it is... Yo.
I mean, just, again, it goes back to just you having...
people skills.
Yeah, well, I would say...
I would sell something to someone on iPhone. But because I know where to hit the nerve or because I know what people want. For example, you're going to Rands on Saturday. You want to look good. So I would feed into that. I would make sure this thing looks good on you.
Yeah.
And there's only 5 people that have this. And you're going to look good. It would look good.
And people will still get it and buy it.
And then they were like, are you a designer? I'm like, yes. Because I'm faking it. I'm like, again, going back to, I would sell you shit. Sorry for swearing again. But because the teta kanje and I'm so outspoken and my chin is up high and I'm bold.
Which actually goes back to, it's not about the product. It's about how you sell it. How you make people feel.
Yes.
And that's what you've been doing for the longest of time.
Even if I would sell a car, I wouldn't tell you about the car. I would just tell you about the feeling that comes with the car. Jeez. Going back to an organization, going back to everything that I've done, it has always been about feelings.
And how was it like building such a character and just building you as a brand? Because I believe people are brands before anything else. How you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, you are a brand. How have you managed to build such a big brand? How did you do that?
I think I get it from my mom. My mom was a ShopRite. So Puma ko ShopRite says join umgalelo no sisabangabazio ba ko ShopRite. They've already talked about bana into ethile ichipi. I've got it from my mom, man.
Yeah.
I would go to my mom mall elayinini uzothetha nosisa ngamaziyo and usisi uzomxelela bano le rama siphetheyo apha ichip kwa Spa. That's how she is. And funny enough, I've always looked up to my mom. She studied marketing. She's outspoken. We just because of how we're more or less the same. So I've always strived to be like her.
What are some of the values that your mom has like installed in you that you even today you live by them, you breathe by them?
I think one thing I don't take away from my mom is to always be there for people.
Yeah.
And a single mom raising such an amazing kid, which is me, and with the things I've accomplished in life and the things I am going to accomplish in life, I always give credit to my mom.
Yeah.
And everything like that. We didn't have the best of homes, but she installed that diteng a song, but I don't expect you to bring a song. I expect you to bring a track a song. And that's how she has raised me. And I always say that with everything that has happened in my life, it was because of my mom. Man, she's my role model, man.
Yeah.
And it's rare for me to talk about my mom. I don't really like touching about that topic. Not saying that she's passed away or any of those things, but she knows deep down inside that she is that person, and I'm where I am because of her. You know?
Okay, true.
Yeah, I wish to be that person. I wish to be. Unfortunately, I can't be a wife, but I wish to be someone's husband, like my mom.
Like your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, again, going back to the interview with the Maps, you touched on your dad, but you didn't expand on it. And I believe, as sometimes the energy reads, you can tell when someone wants to open about something, and someone keeps on poking, just in general. Now, I don't want you to actually expand on it, but I just want to ask you a question quickly. Thinking back, Ngoku, and having the life that your mom created for you, and not having a dad being present, right? Would you, with all the lessons that you have, with the life that you've built for yourself, would you say that having him around would have made a slight difference to your life right now? Even the slightest?
Hey, man, everyone wishes to have both of their parents in their life.
Yeah.
I think most of the time, one of the reasons why my relationship with people, and I'm going to say people, is because of daddy issues. Parents play a huge role in one's life. For example, escale again, yabo. If I had a dad at home,
what
do you think Ben Gazuma?
Well, Mameli scale.
Mameli, bro. Ask anyone that I've went to.
Good, you don't come across as someone that.
Bro, and Mameli, I'm an attention seeker. So an attention seeker is someone on Mameli of
Jeez.
That's me. So there are some things or there are some phases that I've gone through that I say, hey, uleti ko die. And I would never say yes or no to that answer, to that question. Because again, it's very, I don't know what I could have accomplished if he was there. So I don't know, but I have one of the greatest dads.
Yeah.
And again, I've developed that after Ogoloka and understanding that, okay, Ngoko, there comes a stage where
you have to understand.
Yeah, utingumzali more than a dad or anything. You need a place to fall on, and your parents is one of the best places. I mean, even with you, even in life, than a complete stranger. So I think I need my parents more than anything because of a place to fall on. And my dad and I are working on our relationship, and also I think I've come to an age where I'm family orientated.
Yeah.
So he has kids, he has a wife, he has all of those things. And I've centered myself in wanting to assure him, hey, timer, man.
You're
that is going to take care of the family and all of that. Yeah, man. I mean, you can only hate until a certain extent, and then the hate becomes love. Yeah, but you can only hate someone to a certain extent until you understand that we're becoming a prisoner to this person's thoughts and to this person's ideology. You're filling your mind with hate to a point whereby when this person says jump, you're not going to even ask how high. But if you're going to work on yourself and understand that, okay, this is who I am, and this is what I can offer. If you don't bring it back, it's okay. I think as people, we want energies to, what's the word I'm looking for? Zifane. It will never be that way. Never. Even
just like how people expect, Sami, when you have a situation, you expect that person to handle the situation as how you would handle it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, because I would believe if someone comes to me and they would like have a situation and they don't show up the way that I would show up, I instantly feel some type of way.
Now, I always say tone is very important when handling everything in life.
What about behavior?
The tone in which you use to address something determines how I will respond to it. Yeah, which is very much selfish.
Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
And being aggressive. We are going to be aggressive. Because the tone that they've set is aggressive. Meaning that your mind is going to be aggressive.
It's going to retaliate.
Yes. So the tone in which you set when addressing something determines the reply you're going to get. Use that in everything in life, relationships, friendships, and everything. If you want to address something, use a posh tone. Hence, kutiwa, do not address indo unomsindo, because your mind is not listening. Your mind is on defense mode. Why? You did this and this and that. You think you saying this and this. Obviously, now. So now you're not listening. But if you calm and relax, hence because I've learned to understand that the tone I'm going to use,
it has to be very mindful of.
Yes. Hence, I believe Onotex are the best people in the world. Hence, they used that tone. They tone of you have to be aggressive. But those guys, they produced one of the best kids because they understand that they have that side of them that is very sweet and all of those things.
Yeah.
But to them, they grew up understanding that your voice gets things done.
Yeah.
So how do I address everything? The tone in which you use, man,
makes sense. Which actually gives way to our next segment here. You mentioned tone. We also touched on behavior somehow. How do you feel about, in general, how do you feel about behavior? How do you feel about people's thought process in handling certain situations, and when they do things, they do it without considering how it might affect other people? Like, what is your view on general behavior and how you conduct yourself in life if you do want to actually be somewhere and be someone who's who's respected?
Don't project your feelings onto other people.
In what way?
I think we live in a society whereby if I can't get it, you shouldn't get it, and I'll make sure that you don't get it. And abantu tend to project their own personal feelings or their own personal insecurities onto others. And this is common in social media where we hate couples. We hate happy couples. We hate Sunday for Lovers. We hate it.
Sunday for Lovers.
Not because of we hate the idea of it. We hate the fact that we can't get it.
Where do you think that comes from?
It's trauma.
Because, I mean, you have people who don't have parents, bruv, and like they have single parents. They don't have the greatest of life, but they have a way with people and they become the sweetest. So when do we stop and make excuses if we say, it's just trauma?
I think it's a you thing. It's you understanding the situation. There are some situations that you just can't change. There's nothing you can do about it than having to accept it.
How do you think, or when I personally, how would you tell if someone is making their trauma an excuse or they just don't know if they are dealing with something that is so heavy that is starting to implicate or poison the other people around them?
I'll make a typical example. For me, I don't wish to have kids, and I've always said the statement. It's a trauma response. We live in a society where people break up and all those things. I don't wish to bring someone into this life that is going to more or less sit down one day and talk about, hey, Tamayam, or hey, Umamam. It's a trauma response. I don't wish to be a parent. I know I would be the
ever.
I don't see myself. I don't see myself.
Okay.
I don't see myself. And if I would ever find myself in a situation where I am my parent, I think I would, that kid would be spoiled as hell. And that girlfriend or wife would be spoiled as hell. Because I would be projecting my own personal traumas onto them.
Yeah.
And I see myself projecting my traumas into my brothers, my sisters, and everything. They spoiled because I wish to ensure that they don't ever live a life
the way that you
get me.
Yeah.
So ibanjalo most of the time where the behavior of someone is just a trauma response.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and I think we as society need to learn where to draw the line. But you can't be projecting your own personal feelings onto someone else's relationship. No, uzokulahla and all those things. Just because of you.
Yeah.
Just because that happened to you. And you need to understand that.
That's my thing, man. That's my thing, because we live in a generation here too. We use, I have depression, it's anxiety, it's trauma, it's I was being gaslighted. We tend to have so many excuses for our own bad behavior, and it gets in a way. It gets in such a bad way in our lives for us, like for personal progress and personal development, that as far as we can't take ownership, we can't take accountability. We always have to say, it's because I have daddy issues. It's because, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to be vocal about that. It's good to be aware, but my thing is, when does it stop being an excuse for people to fall back on? Do you get me? And then when can we actually start putting the work? When do we actually start putting the work and stop being, that's my thing. Because life is hard for everyone. Even when people have billions,
life is hard in general. More especially for a guy. I always tell my friends, my problems stop when I close my eyes. The moment you wake up, it's a crisis. I always post on my status, funny enough, I always post, nothing is going well. Like, life in general, and not even a bad way. It's just chaos. And I feed off that.
Which is ironic, because social media does not show that.
Facebook.
Instagram as well.
Insta's a lifestyle thing. Insta's a lifestyle app.
Okay.
Yazi. You can only allow people to consume so much of your life until you stop. Because I always tell Abantu, hey, Bahle, I know you. Didn't know. You don't know me. You know of me.
But you don't know me.
You don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know me And when you get to know me, you get to understand, okay, he's like this. Because I can portray, I'm a marketing student.
Yeah.
Part of my marketing modules is social media. I can portray a lifestyle with social media, fake it.
Until you make it.
Until I make it.
Yeah.
And then say that I'm a billionaire, whatever. I mean, like sitting in Go Make and Bean and taking a picture of that breakfast is like 100 and something. Yeah, bro.
It's all about the perspective.
It's how you see it.
Yeah.
Hence, I say people from social media, we know of them. We don't know them. Yeah, but we don't know. You can take pictures in Dubai and post them what December. You're going to think I'm in Dubai in December, whereas I was in Jan. Yeah,
yeah.
So, social media, man, is just a gimmick, man. It's just a way of... I mean, do you post when you're sad?
I mean, I post everything, Gumna. I'm one person who...
Hey, man.
I mean...
Did you post that or you'll be seeing me today?
No, but the thing is, I try to... No, but the thing is, I try to...
He was excited.
I try to protect...
When you have guests that are coming through that you even start posting whatever. The whole process, basically, like as from the time you enter, he's going to start posting, okay, Bahle's here.
No, but the thing is with that...
And that's how we don't get a lot of things done. Because now, look, we are dealing with a lot of things, like your surroundings. And some things are more spiritual than you're supposed to. So he takes out and puts up everything so that everyone can see that, okay, we have this guest. Sometimes we have a lot of the guests that came through here. Some of the episodes are not up. You don't know how it got there, but I feel like sometimes we put so much of ourselves outside to social media, to everyone else, that those things are not supposed to be like that. We'd appreciate it more if he would...
Be exclusive.
Be exclusive. You know? Post about it when it's all done. When we like drop it today, then you can start posting the behind the scenes as if it's happened now.
I feel like I'm getting a shouting behind, like an indirect. No, but I get it though.
The tone.
I get this.
The tone. It's no, for real. His tone is in an educational way,
which I get, right? And that is why I'm not posting a calling work in general, even like personally. Like I've learned to understand that not every single person needs to know what you're doing in every single minute. But going back to the trauma thing, I think part of me just constantly wants, and I've said this before on here, that a part of me just constantly wants that validation that I'm doing something good. You know when a child is young, that's good, Nana. I feel like for me, I don't think I've had that kakulu growing up.
Can I teach you something?
So, yeah, sure.
If you want validation, go to the mirror.
Yeah.
And talk to yourself.
Yeah, guys. We look at these things.
They can only consume so much from people.
Yeah.
Until you have to. I stroke my ego so much, and it's bad sometimes because that's us, and there's nothing anyone can do, not tell me, that could change how I see things. Again, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah, but I feel like you have a backbone for that, though.
Then grow it. I think you know the problem. Then grow backbone.
No, but guys, it's not me not saying I don't have a backbone. It's just that I want to be in good terms with abantu that are around me. Now, sometimes I don't know how to often do that because I don't know if I'm overdoing it or maybe like I'm oversharing or I'm overstepping my boundaries. And then if I don't get the same energy back, then I feel like I'm forcing things. So I think, I don't know if it's a backbone thing, man. And I don't know how to put it into words.
Work on it,
but it's something definitely that I'm working on. Like I said, I've stopped not placing myself in Ngalahlobo. I try not to do it as much. Yeah, bro. Which actually brings me back to my next question. I went through your posts on Facebook. I mean, it's not something bad. I mean, we did kind of give you an clue of what's going to happen. But I'm just going to read it out so that everybody will be on the same page. So on the 23rd of July, right, you actually shared a post on Facebook. And here's the actual post, you guys. This person wrote here, I personally don't mix with people who think apologizing is begging. No, you apologize when you're wrong. You are not begging. you were in the wrong and you have to apologize. You will lose important people in your life because of your stupid egos. Now you just said you have an ego, right? But that's just I just pointed that out. But then when you actually pointed back, and you quoted word for word, right? I'm gonna quote, and you said, and sometimes it is not even about being wrong or right, but about being educated about something, which you kept on emphasizing right now. I am very big on people who call me out. It doesn't matter if even it was a small joke or maybe a misunderstanding. Call me out, educate me on what you believe I could have done better. I might be defensive, but trust me, I'm listening and willing to learn. Is that your motto still?
So I have a very close friend.
Yeah.
Like a very, very, I don't even call him a friend anymore. Like,
yeah, I feel like you have people you just like you don't hang around with anymore. Why do I feel like you have more enemies than friends?
Me, hell no. Whoever takes himself as my enemy is very
shallow.
What's the word? Demure.
Not very mindful, bro.
I have a very close friend, man.
Yeah.
A life partner, if I would say. Not in a romantic way, any of those things. About his
okay.
The guy, he has taught me so much. And one thing I've learned from him is to apologize. But with him, he doesn't really have a very ego type of personality.
Yeah.
For example, we will be going somewhere. He doesn't care where we're going.
Yeah.
He doesn't care what we're going to be eating.
Yeah.
He doesn't care whatever. But I know damn well he's going to go there and enjoy. And that's how he is. He's good at playing the back.
Yeah.
And not everyone has that personality of being able to say, shine, I'm going to be at the back. I'm going to eat the crumbs, in inverted commas. And one thing with him is that whenever I call him out, his first response is not to try and correct me, but is to first apologize. And we have our arguments. The other day, I bought the car. So, funny, ne? The other day I bought a car. So I tell him, this is me being banterish at the time. I'm saying, as
you should.
That's me.
Yeah.
Fine. The next day, he brings a cider in my car. But guess, obviously, who's 18? Who's 18? No. So me being me, I be like, so I stopped the condom jog. Then 10. I chat Julie Pan.
Okay.
Did you know but the mere fact that his first response was not to his first response was to apologize. And he apologized.
Yeah.
He didn't try to explain it. He didn't try to be defensive. He didn't try to weigh in the opinions, because sometimes calling out something, you could be calling out into and
yeah.
So I learned that from him, that sometimes apologize and listen to what the other person has to say, and then again you get to weigh in what you're gonna take. And then you be like, hey, and throw it out there. Or can you imamel and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna because we tend to more or less be in situations where you feel like deja vu is happening. Man, I've been in this before. So, and also again going back to Buddha, it has taught me to listen a lot. Because you find yourself in situations where and all those things. So I've grown that that part in my life where I have to sit down and listen and gather that information and be able to look smart, man.
Yeah.
Again, it's part of my ego. I want to look smart.
Do you think it takes a certain level of maturity and just, some sort of level of understanding when you have to have as an individual first before you take on someone else's instructions? Or when someone, basically criticism. Also, when someone calls you out, when the recipient, do you think you must, or you should be a level of maturity?
It takes you and you knowing yourself. It takes you knowing yourself and you understanding that what you're gonna say might land or not land. But anyhow, tsokmamela.
Have you ever had difficulties when just receiving criticism?
Yeah, a lot. It's more especially for women. And mameli, bra.
What is it about specifically women that would have more weight?
They're telling me the truth, and they're bruising my ego.
And that's the one thing that you have.
Yeah, and not even in a bad way.
Yeah,
like flip. Yeah.
No?
Now I have to talk about them, and I don't want to.
No, it's fine. No, but it goes back to just. Yeah. What do you think is the difference between, before I actually even go there, what do you think is the difference between listening and hearing?
Ukmamela is processing that information and not replying. You don't have to reply.
Yeah.
Let me talk about them. My ex taught me not to reply to things.
Yeah.
And she was my recent ex. She was one of the smartest people, the lawyer and all of that. Yeah. So obviously, you're
bowling out.
I didn't
bowling
listen.
out.
She used to teach me how to. That girl said to me, literally in my face.
Straight out.
And I had to take myself to school. I was like, yo, hi, matey. And she taught me how to be smart. Whatever that girl said, it was smart. Her views on things. I'm not. She was book smart. I'm street
smart.
Yeah, so obviously, I had to take the street smart and put it into books, and she made me realize that. So she would tell me, "Mamelo ngaphenduli."
Straight out.
Yeah, the mamelo ngaphenduli, because unphendula kwakho it's a response.
Yeah.
Response to your ego being bruised. Yeah, but do you think when no, you're spending too much money, which homie? Do you think you're gonna like your reply? They're bruising your ego. Yeah, but so obviously I had to learn, or I had to understand that sometimes I just have to listen and tell the person, I acknowledge what you're saying. That's the best reply I can give you. I acknowledge what you're saying. And then I'm gonna go home, sit down
and process it
and break it down. For example, I can make a joke about
yeah.
But you're gonna tell me, I'm gonna apologize and I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah.
What if and all those things, you get to filter it. And once you filter it, I can come back to you and say, hey friend, hey man, on this certain day I said this thing and and I do apologize. The mere fact that I took my time now and went back to that one thing that hurt you, obviously now you're gonna be like, okay, now it's cool. Hence I with my friends, they're very big. I think I've created a friendship with my friends. They're very big on calling me out. And who are in spaces or in places where I wish to be in. Just the other day, my other friend bought a car.
You guys just buying cars, hey?
No, it's how the friendship is structured.
Yeah?
Yeah, we there's some things you can't do. Not because of you don't want to, but you're gonna get called out. For example, I can't go to a club and ball out, and just ball out. I will get calls when Zanon, hayakawambe up, kanye upi. It's how they know what is best for me, and I know what is best for them. So they would call me out. They'd be like, "Yo, what's the plan,
man?
Where do you need us as friends?" That's what I've created for myself. Again, I've created a safe haven where, if anything happens, I can fall onto. One of them asked me because I posted something, but where are you? I have to tell them, okay, no, I'm doing a podcast with someone. Okay, they want to watch the interview. They're gonna say, hey, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said this, and all of that. That's the friendship. We've created that. We've created a place where one can get called out. And we do mistakes, man.
A place where people can take accountability and just be aware of their decisions. That's a good
sometimes
thing.
You can do something good and you get called out for it. But hey, you could have went an extra mile for this. You could have you could have grinded. You know, even with the fame thing of me being known, my friends don't really like that because people tend to not know where to stop or where to
draw the line.
Yeah. Hence, I've been learning that also. But say, I'm out with my friends. I'm having fun in a restaurant. Yeah, but
and you haven't. I've noticed something, but I don't think, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, please, but you haven't been as loud, if that's a proper term to use. You haven't been as loud on social
life
media.
humbles you, bruh.
Ne?
Yeah. Life humbles you. I don't know when was the last time I trended. Life humbles you, bruh.
I would trend.
Yo, bro, every second week. Life humbles you. And now we're in an age where we can be people's husbands and wives.
Which goes back to what you said, man, about like having a circle where people are taking, responsibility of the actions and taking responsibility of the people that they claim that they are friends. And we live in an age where there's a lot of friends, but there's a little compassion. We can be friends, but there's no compassion at all. There's no empathy. There's no. I feel there's no that I could go over and beyond with you, and that is lacking on so many levels. Not only in friendship, but in generally in relationship as well, siblingships, parenthood, just in general.
And I always say, be that friend first.
But if you don't know how to, then what's the way forward?
For example, I'm very big on birthdays.
Yeah,
I'm very big on that, and I always make sure that if it's someone's birthday, I get them a gift, something tangible, something that whenever they are down and out, they understand. But I'm very big on gifts. I'm a giving person, and I always get shocked about when they expect gifts, but they're not really
giving the same energy back.
The same energy. Why you post a banking account yako status and want us to send money for your birthday, whereas you didn't send us money for our birthdays? And people have that mentality. People want to receive so much that they're not willing to initiate the giving first. I mean, even with women in general. As a guy, spoiler rotten, spoil it
and see how it turns back,
and see how it comes back. And it's not going to be in the same sense. So I always say that be the initiator. We live in a society, people do not want to initiate. And then they're not going to
see that it's going to
work. And then
work.
they're not going to know how to receive it.
Yeah.
I mean, if a girl would buy you flowers now, how was I was teen? So what's in my flower day out? Think about it, guys.
Yeah.
But if you buy flowers for someone, you're going to know that I'm a flower of a vase. Flowers get watered. All of that. You have to buy a flower from Woolies. They come with that wood. Flower food and all those things. When someone buys you those flowers, I'll come and like, okay, what do I do with these? Because you've done it before.
Yeah.
So I'm like that. I want to start it first. And then
implement
when I
it.
receive it, or whenever I buy myself it, again, buy yourself a gift on your own birthday, before you're wanting to receive from others. So let it start with you. Understand the feeling from you. You can't tell me that Tufuni doctor is going to take you on dates and whatever, whereas you don't even take yourself on a date.
Yeah, which goes back to the fact that you have to love and appreciate and adore
grow
yourself first. Exactly. Going back, grow the backbone, and just make yourself a platform where you understand how you want to be treated.
Correct.
First, before you actually expect that from anyone else, because how can you actually expect someone else to do good by you if you can't do good by yourself when you are alone? So that's a very important thing to say, man. But I'm very confused again. I don't understand why you don't want a kid, because these are the very same values and principles that you don't necessarily have to have a child in order to pass them on. But man, we need to start.
Maybe it's an age thing.
We need to start with the seeds so that we can plant them. Yeah, man. So we can
water them.
What did you say? We say plant them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nurture your garden.
Yeah. Do you get me? It's very difficult to nurture someone who's already at adulthood. Or adolescency, because not that it's hard, but they're fully developed at that time. It's hard.
It feels like you're talking me into it. Okay, I'll make a baby today.
No, man, but I think it's just because we are in relationships, and how do you, what would you say is the core for you to function? Let's just say that, because we know we spoke about phones earlier on. You said you need a phone to function and everything, but when it comes to just basic support, what would that entail for you in regards to the people around you? Like, what would be the requirements?
Hey, man, just give out the same energy, man.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to learn yourself is friendships.
Yeah.
With a relationship, relationship 80% is true, 20% is fake.
Expand.
For example, I don't know if you this way or if you gents are this way.
Yeah.
If you're gonna ask me anything and I'm with my partner, I'm gonna give you. Trust me. Trust me. Yes, try it. Cela into out yamani umuntu wayo. Yes, uzokunika, because even nama old lady age, but hi man, like your mama, hi bo, daddy, can you come down? You understand? He has to fake it, but I'm weak.
Yeah.
So, but with friendships, you can call out a friend. So I think with me, start off with your friends. See, are you consistent with your friendships? Are you affectionate?
That's
with your
a
friends?
good one, man.
Are you
consistency?
Are you lovey, touchy, all those things? And once you tick all of those things, you'll be good in a relationship. With I'm lacking consistency with my friends.
Yeah.
For example, we could be saying we're gonna meet at 1, so figure out formula.
Yeah.
And I lack communication. My agents, they're busy in because I expect them to know.
To know and understand.
And also, I don't owe them that. But also, that's rude to say to someone.
You don't owe them.
Yes.
Like communication, whereas we have.
Once I can master that, those are the principles of a relationship: communication, love, affection, companionship, and all those things. Hence, I always tell, I'm not ready for a relationship because I haven't mastered those things. And it's things that I'm. Upombi asked me to go take his shoes. We what for Bazhlanj. I didn't do that. I was busy. Did I communicate? No. So the best thing to do sometimes is just to learn all of those principles with your friends than having to learn them onto someone else. So that's my take on friendships. Friendships are a way of learning yourself and learning who you are, because you're befriending individuals who are going to be able to call you out. And once you have people that are for you, by you, you then develop a character where everything will go well.
Have you ever experienced, I know we're running out of time, but I just have to quickly answer that, ask you this. Have you ever experienced a friendship breakup? People say that apparently friendship breakups are harder than actual relationships.
Yeah, I have.
Did you say that?
I have. I've had a friendship breakout with one of my closest friends.
Did you have a conversation? Was about hate? I feel like
we've never talked about it, and it was so petty.
But why is it so difficult? That's my thing. Why is it
talk about it, Nanai?
But it's easy for people who are in relationship to break up and talk about it. But Mamela,
friends are not supposed to break up.
Let's call it off.
Friends are not supposed to break up.
So we're supposed to stay in toxic relationships just for the sake of friendships.
But with friendships, you're able to call out another person.
Okay.
With a relationship, you can't call them out because sometimes you feel like, man.
She'll outgrow it.
Yeah, she'll outgrow it. Also, cool way. Kanya when's a mistake. With friends, I think with me and that guy, I'm not gonna call out names or anything.
Yeah.
We have the same ego.
Oh, that never works.
And it works, but it's a
to like
yes,
males especially ego, same ego driven.
Yes. Take it as in a good side. None of us wants to be wrong, so whatever we're gonna say, we have to fact check.
That's my thing. That's why I'm having difficulties.
Yes, which is a good thing.
Okay.
My Chomizambra, I'm friends with a lawyer, political analyst.
Yeah.
I'm friends with a hard, big, like best sales assistant.
Asha?
Better than me. Those three people are ego-driven.
Yeah.
A lawyer is ego-driven.
Definitely.
Political analyst is ego-driven. Yabo? Whatever I say, and Nati Siafana, if you're gonna suggest something, please pray that it doesn't flop.
So you would suggest eventually, but ego is good.
Yes, and ego is good. But with us, even if you say, hey guys, let's go to Rands. Pray that we have fun there. Because the next day, we're going to be on your case. It wasn't safe. It wasn't all those things. So ego is a good thing sometimes. Because whatever you're going to do, you have to fact check it. Sometimes, but sometimes it's not. Man, because of Omameli.
Because like people will just... With ego in there, I feel like it's good to use it to propel and to use it as a source of fire to mitigate the storms of life. But yeah, it takes a very smart individual and mature person to actually know how to reduce that ego a bit, just to be at the same level, especially of abantu bathandayo. Just to put your ego aside and just to have a conversation. Mamela, we're going to a direction that I don't want us to go into. Is there a plan B? Can we talk about this? I think if you can put ego in that basket, right, you can have it, but also have a sense of maturity, in Ubuntu, and just understand that not everything revolves around you as a person. And with that being said and done, we are about to ask the final questions, but one of my favorite questions that I always like to ask, how do you keep yourself sane? I think that's a very important, and I'm asking for myself personally now. How do you keep yourself sane? How do you keep your mentality sane and grounded with everything that you've just mentioned, with everything that is happening in your life, Bahle? Like, how do you constantly just keep yourself grounded? Besides the ego thing, besides everything else, how do you just go back to yourself when you know that you're out of pocket?
I think my attention span is very bad. No, it's cool. You could shoot it, man. It's fine. Yeah, you could read it.
Oh, is that the question?
For none of the
Oh, okay, sure.
Oh, okay, cool. My attention span is bad. I can't even multitask, guys. I always tell people, and this is something that I learned from a very wise guy. That's based that the why of everything you do in life determines where you're gonna go, and it also determines when you can't do it. You tend to ask yourself, "Hey, why am I here?"
Yeah.
The why keeps you driven.
Yeah.
For example, we go to school, ne? I want to be a teacher.
Yeah.
If ever the teacher asked us why, do you think you were going to get up just because of the answer go? Or were you going to think of this and ask yourself, why do I want to be this teacher? So with everything I do in life, I tend to ask myself, why am I in this situation? Yes, why am I doing this? Why am I getting up every day hustling? It's to ensure that I create a safe space for my parents, for my brothers and sisters and all that. Why do I want to be in a relationship with this girl? It's because she has a motherly love. She's this, she's that. Why am I friends with you? It's because I want to look good. I mean, looking good also contributes to people speaking to you in a certain way. Because you look good, you look expensive. So the why of everything you do determines how you're going to do it.
And how you're going to navigate it.
Yes. And also, when you want to quit something, ask yourself why. So why is very important. Because with why, you have a when, you have a how, and all the other stuff that come with the why. So that's how I keep myself.
Well, the Janes actually have a question here. It was actually coincidence.
It's not.
No, it's why is it not a coincidence? Oh, because I was like, yeah, it's way too similar to the one that I had in mind. But okay, cool. So here's one question, right? Have you ever had people in your life that have loved you for the things that you can actually do for them? Like, they actually overlook when as a person, and you touched on this a bit, just touched, when you mentioned that people know of you and they don't know you. So the question just goes back to that. Have you ever had people in your life that have loved you for things that you can do for them instead of valuing you as a person?
I still have those people.
And still keep them around?
Yeah, I mean, routine. For example, which I hate so much.
Okay.
I hate people who know me on weekends.
And not Monday to Friday.
I hate people who know me on weekends. We all have those people. Uzokwazi nge-weekend qha, and yazi, I'm not saying be the best person, but just show a bit of decency, man. We have people who pocket watch us. You went on a date, late uzocela imali. We have people who want to take. Except for can you get me tickets? Because they know that you're able to do this.
You're in that platform. Yeah.
Yes. And the kubo abanantloni. It's month end, bro. You just got paid. Undicela imali. Ayikahlali nale mali ebhankini and ndihlale pha yenze ingxaki zami undicela imali. You understand? And because you know that I'm not going to say no.
You do it regardless.
Yabo. Ungabi nantloni. Yabo. And most of the time I mize you mna.
Yeah.
Dakmize andikuphendule ngomso, hey bra, xola bendibhizi. Because even though I'm gonna give you, but I don't. Yazi,
you don't want to create a tradition.
I don't want you to be
it.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Being comfortable is bad. Don't ever be comfortable in a relationship, in friendships, and everything. Don't ever have that
complacent.
Don't ever have that, because you're gonna get disappointed. Ne? And me disappointing you is not me not wanting to do it. It's me not being able to do it. But because you're so used, hence we have people throwing around, hey, fake friend. No, they just couldn't do it. You understand?
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it at that time. My phone could ring now. I'm not picking it up.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm too busy for him now. No, I'm busy with something. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah, bro. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's it's like I hate this time. As much as it's nerve-wracking to actually start a podcast, to start an episode, it's worse closing it off, because that's where you actually want to keep on talking and talking and talking. And that's something that I would love to actually expand on if you had the time, being comfortable, operating in your comfortability, or just operating outside of your comfort zone. In fact, not even operating your comfortability, because that's where you're going to become complacent. And that's where you're just going to be, you're going to lack the constraints to actually do things that you want to do and achieve in life. But yeah, we don't have time for that. For now, I would say. So we are about to close, you guys. We've reached that end of the tunnel. But you do know that before we actually end off and let the guests go, we do ask a very, very important question. Now, Bahle, out of everything that you have said and done, have you processed the thought, or do you think that you've actually reached the top of your hill, or you're still climbing?
Hey, man. I think I'm in a phase in my life where, funny enough, I watched this today.
Yeah.
Saying, I think I woke up at 6, where where there was a video on Facebook talking about passion versus money.
Yeah.
And the guy was saying, he narrated it in this. Someone was asking him, well, I have this passion, and I'm also making money out of this. And how do I go about? And the reply to that was, how did you get here, firstly? What did you eat? The clothes you dressed. For me to get here today, I used money.
Yeah.
I used money to buy food. I used money to buy clothes. I'm at a stage where in my life, passion and money are fighting. I'm making money somewhere else, you know? But also I'm neglecting my passion. But unfortunately, my passion can only take me so far.
So far.
And money can only take me so far. So I'm in a phase in my life where I'm working towards mixing passion with money. You know? I think once I can accomplish that, for which I'm taking it slowly.
Yeah.
Hence, I'm not working at the moment because I feel like I've been neglecting my passion.
Yeah.
And also, I've been making so much money that not a lot. I mean, by making so much money, it's just
making
a living.
Yeah.
I don't want you to say, just making a living.
Yeah.
Where the money, I'm money driven. And I'm neglecting the passion.
Yeah.
And my passion is to give. That's my passion.
Yeah.
So for me to climb or for me to be on top, I'm at a phase where I'm working towards passion and money and ensuring that I sleep knowing well that I'm on top of the ladder. And I don't think the ladder ever stops, man.
Yeah.
Nah, it never. Just appreciate the small wins and celebrate them.
Yeah.
And we have to ensure that if you want to be a president, celebrate yourself being a deputy president or a minister or a mayor, so that when sometimes uzothuka usentweni ungazazi mama uthini because you didn't practice it. Like, don't let your life be an unprepared speech. Where
and you just have to deal with it.
Bruh, if you have 100 rand and your lifestyle yako once, or your lifestyle is 1,000 rand, 100 rand khawuzam.
Make means.
Hey, bruh, I'm one person. Now I would go on a date with a girl and just hey, bruh. But just I'm gonna create this memory nalo, and she's not gonna forget me.
Yeah.
So just don't let your life be an unprepared oral, man.
How to speak about that. I had this question.
How do you prepare yourself for the space that you land in?
The spaces that you land in.
Me?
Yeah. It's a question I had.
Firstly, again, my personality allows me to be in a room and people like you are going to create questions because I can say whatever with a chin up high. But confidence. Yeah. Secondly, I think I've worked on knowing what I want in life and worked on where I know I can go. I can wake up, be the president of this country, I would deliver a speech and dizomamelega. Because I'm a leader.
Conviction.
I'm a leader by birth.
Yeah, man.
I've even with everything, friendships, everything. Yeah. Even at home, whenever my parents want to take a decision, so I've had to ensure that I educate myself because whatever decision that I'm going to take, I'll have to live with it. Also, I watch people who are in the same spaces or who are
same lane,
or are in a lane that I wish to be in. How they move, how they talk, how they speak. Because when I get there, I want to be able to, for example, now, I have to I have to more or less give eye contact to everyone. It's distance is bubundu, or I can't speak like this. I was in Mamela. That's what I've learned about motivational speaking and speaking for public. You need to give eye contact so that you can feel that the message that I'm giving to you is going to the heart. Again, it's those things. It's equipping yourself for where you want to be. You can't tell me that you want to be a teacher but don't.
Do you get me?
Yo. Fake it now, man. So that when you get there, you
what do you mean?
Think about it.
I'm passionate about what I do, bro.
Man,
don't
get there,
don't go for me like that.
That's those are some of the things, man.
Yeah.
So I think how you can land yourself in those spaces, fake it now.
Oh, I love that, man. I love that.
Nobody's not gonna know that you're faking it,
bro. Your aura is very positive. It's very influential, I would say. I feel like you're one of those people that are not digwa. When you learn, I feel like I've learned so much just being your presence and just ungena kwakho. I told you again, I'm going back that when you walked in, the first thing I mentioned that is how much you've grown. And you could not even, physically you can tell, but you can just, man. There's something genuine about your spirit. And that is something that we're missing a lot in leadership as well. You cannot be in a position of leadership where you are trying so hard to manipulate and move according to when are you understand. And you have that, man. You feel like you have a balance of everything.
But that go about.
Yeah, but you not but in the if you know how to handle people, you have it. And like I said, that's a lot of things that abandoned by Misa and Namhlanje, the genuineness and the leadership. Genuineness in leadership, sorry. But any few last words before we close? Anything any more? I feel like you've said everything, but any more just something to someone who would be in your position just to want to grow, and someone who's struggling in their purpose and doesn't know if it's going to be, or if they're doing something wrong, if they decide just to take a step back and just focus on themselves. Yeah, man. Any
best advice or the best advice given to me by someone is just have a vision board, man. You could have a vision board for the next 6 months. Of the year, and saying, okay, I want to save maybe 1,000 rand by December. I want to buy 2 sneakers or 3 sneakers, and also reward yourself. As funny enough, I've, if I'm not mistaken, 30 pairs of shoes.
30?
Yeah, 30. If I'm not mistaken, every time I do something, be it pause a module, be it whatever, man, I reward myself for the shoe. Yourself. That's a different story. It has its own story. But one thing about me is that I don't play around when it comes to shoes. It's a reward. I don't expect someone to buy them for me. But for myself, it is who I am, and I'm learning to reward myself because again, ufuna umnyumda kuwishele birthday and give you a gift, whereas you can't do that for yourself. And we live in a society where people want to please other people. You want to please empty vessels who want pleasing themselves. So please,
just like how you want to like everybody, but when you're yourself, you don't even like everybody.
You get me?
Yeah.
So advice: work on yourself. Go on a self-discovery journey. Know what you like. Know what pleases you. What satisfies you. You could even go deep into it. Touch yourself. What happens when you touch your arm? What happens when you touch your head? The sensation, the feeling, so that when someone else brings it to you, they don't bring something that will shock you. I always say, everyone knows what they want, and it's up to you. It's up to, even in relationships, we know what we want from women. Women know what we want from us, but when you get it, how do you nurture it? How do you grow this seed and all of that? So work on yourself, man. Work on who you are. Learn. Ask for help. I can't do wrong with DM. Hi, Bahle. Hope you're good. Hey, man. I like how you dress. Where do you buy your clothes? No one's gonna kill you with that. They're gonna tell you, go to, even I say H&M, go to H&M, fit all those clothes, even if you don't afford them. But know how it feels on you. Because once you know how you feel, you then would be grounded, and also because and how you could be moved. I'm not a motivational speaker, by the way. I'm just saying.
You're just dropping some. But
I'm just saying.
I love how you just said it so casually. I'm not a motivational speaker, but I
don't believe
you're just dropping life lessons, bro, after each other. But thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come to possibly one of, when you dream and hope, possibly one of the biggest podcasts to come out of Cape Town. Thank you for giving us that benefit of the doubt, man. It's been a pleasure. I personally believe it's been a pleasure. I don't know about the guys, but I've learned a lot. I'm not gonna stray from that. I've learned quite a lot just by being here and listening. Now, Aphiles, if nobody has told you this, namhlanje, I just want you to understand this. Love yourself, adore yourself, and just be the best version of yourself. The world is literally becoming a better place by you just smiling. Do you get me? You have to understand that you can't conquer everything if you can't conquer yourself, right? Take time for yourself and understand that it's okay to step out of your purpose just a bit, if it is just for temporary purposes. It's okay. Step out of your dreams, step out of the person you want to become, and just take responsibility of the circumstances that you're in right now, absorb and understand, and that it's okay. And if you're ready, just go back into it stronger and better. That is the purpose of life, okay? You guys, we are everywhere. We're on social media platforms. You're on Instagram. You're on TikTok, Facebook, Threads, events. We have been there for quite some time. And we're also on social. No, not social. We're also on streaming platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music, I believe. And we have quite a few and Samsung podcasts as well. Just go to one of our Instagram pages. There's quite a lot, guys. I don't have them in my head, but I know the one important one that I was so excited when we actually ventured out. It was Spotify. You see, that one I'll never ever forget. But for more information, please go to our Instagram page. I think there is a link tree there. You could have access to everything that is connected to the podcast. And for me, I believe that is all. Guys, I'll see you next time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. We're out.